Welcome to Active Adoptions podcast. I'm your host, Mackenzie Love, and today we are here with Kaylee.
Hi.
Kaylee and I go way back to 6th grade. Were you in Mrs. Kennedy's class with me?
I was.
You were? Okay.
I
was trying to figure it out today.
We had that same class. I actually ended up transferring to a different class because she was too intense for me.
She was intense.
She was very intense.
I wonder where she is today.
I don't care. She was not my business.
No. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's great.
Yeah. But yeah, we had good times. So we go way back, and somehow our paths have crossed again, which I love.
Universe.
Yes, meant to be. So the founder, Kathy, she's your adoptive mom.
Yeah.
And, or your mom. You can call her your mom.
She's my mom.
She's your mama. And you were, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were in foster care from birth to
no,
4?
my birth mom had me.
Okay.
She kept me until she was 16 when she had me. She kept me until she was 19, and then she placed me for adoption. And then I went into foster care.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And that was in Texas.
Yep.
So how did Kathy and Dieter find you?
My parents, because they own the agency, they had connections with other agencies, and they decided they wanted to adopt again.
Yeah.
And they reached out to the agency in Texas, and there I was. And so I remember the day that my social worker, Pat, she came to the house that I was in foster care at.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm going to show you a book. And she showed me a picture book.
Yeah.
Just like a photo album. And she showed me our family. And she's like, do you want to be a part of this family? I was like, sure, why not? It's better than this.
Go.
It's better than being here.
Yeah.
And so it was pretty fast. And next thing you know, I was getting off a plane in Salt Lake City, walking down the airport, and my whole family was there. And I was like, this is intense. Everyone was there. The nieces, the nephews, my mom, my dad, the brothers, the sisters.
They were all there to welcome you.
Yeah, it was so good. It was great.
That.
Yeah. Loved it. It's like something you don't ever forget, especially when you get out of a bad situation.
Yeah.
And you know, like, you can breathe.
Right.
Because for the longest time from when I was born, I started having memories of my childhood when I was like 1, 2. Mm-hmm. So I could remember all the things that I went through. And it was like suffocating until I got to the family that I'm with now. And then you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Let me take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Because they're going to let me
fresh.
breathe.
Yeah.
And you're not suffocating. You don't feel like you're drowning anymore because nobody wants you.
Yeah.
So it was cool. It's always been, my family's amazing.
They are
wish
amazing.
any other family upon me. I was like, they're perfect.
They are.
We're all super outgoing. We're all really funny. Vulgar sense of humor. Yes. I'm about it.
I know. It's actually funny because my friends were like, are you sure you're going to be okay going on a podcast talking about like serious stuff like adoption? They're like, you have such a dark sense of humor. And I was like, I try to, you know,
to the right
hone
agency.
it in.
it's like, you came to the right agency. We all have that sense of humor.
Right? I feel like we all get along so well. Well, I'm so glad. I can't even imagine what that feels like just feeling abandoned and,
yeah,
you know,
I mean, growing up, you have to come to a realization that like they're not going to give you away.
Yeah.
You are staying here. It is okay to be you. Because for the longest time, I felt like I had to walk on eggshells just in case they didn't want me.
Right.
And they wanted to send me back. And I had a good family. And it's just the thought process you go through as an adopted child, especially when you're older.
Right.
And you've been through so many traumatic things. And your mom literally drops you off of an airport and says, peace. That's not what she said, but that's pretty much what it felt like.
I like that we can both just laugh because I think about that, and I think about doing that to my own kids, and I can't even imagine.
I couldn't fathom it. Like, I don't have kids, but if I did have kids, I could not fathom just saying, okay.
Yeah, good luck.
I've been doing this, but peace. I don't want to do it no more.
Do you know anything about your mirth mom?
Yeah, I do know about my birth mom. I actually am in contact with her. I found her when I was 21.
Okay.
So I guess I'm 31 now. So we've known each other for about 10 years known, I guess.
Yeah.
But, I mean, now that I'm the age that I am now and I, like, try and communicate with her now, I really realize she just didn't want me.
You really feel like that?
You just get to that age where you try and stay in contact and you try and make sure that they know that they're appreciated for the things that they did.
Sure.
But then the outcome of the things that you do.
Right.
You're just like, wait, I go out of my way to like make sure I said Happy Mother's Day to her because I came out of her.
Right.
So, I mean, she's still in some way as a mom.
Yeah, yeah.
And I can't take that from her. Just because she placed me for adoption, I can't take that from her.
Yeah.
Or happy birthday. Nothing. Like, I'm just like, okay. So, like, over the last few years, I've really realized it's like, I just think that you've had your, like, coming to God moment that you really didn't ever want to be a mom.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm at the point where I've been fighting for a relationship that I'm probably never going to get.
Which is
and that
so
is
hard.
okay. Because I have my mom.
Yeah.
And she's always provided a relationship with me that makes me feel unconditionally loved, heard, and taken care of.
I'm so glad.
And that's all any child really wants, is to be loved, heard, and taken care of. Yeah. It's not about the worldly things. I don't need you to buy me a million different things for you to love me. I want you to be present.
Yeah.
And I think for her, because she had me at such a young age and placed me when she was still young, she doesn't know how to do that. She doesn't know how to connect the dots to be that type of person in someone's life. Right. And I mean, it hurts to like say out loud, and it'll probably hurt for people to hear, but ultimately at the end of the day, that's the truth. Yeah.
Did she have any other kids?
No, I was the only child. She did. When I found her, she was in a long-term relationship with this man for 10 years, and he had kids. And then they broke up when she moved back to Texas, because I found her when she was living in Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they broke up when she moved to Texas, and then she ended up getting married to some man that she met while she was in Texas. And I remember the day that she got married, because I was like, wait, what?
Who is this guy?
Who is this? Yeah. I've never seen this man in my life. And now you're getting married, and I've been in your life for like 5-6 years now. I thought maybe I would have been invited. All of her family was there. They did it in Vegas. And they were all living in Maryland and Texas.
Why Vegas?
I have no clue. But that's so close for us.
Right. I know, 5 hours away.
Yeah, it's just I would have gotten in the car and driven down to go to the wedding. Yeah. But then when I like tried talking to her and asking her about it, she's just like, it wasn't important. And I was like, just like my wedding wasn't important and you didn't show up for my wedding. Yeah. And you told me 2 weeks before my wedding you weren't coming, even though you told me you were going to.
I'm so sorry.
It's just like the realizations you have.
Yeah.
And the conversations you have. And I know that she has love for me. I was her kid for X amount of years.
Sure.
But now it's kind of like anytime I call her, she's like, have you talked to your mom? And I was like, I always talk to my mom. Yeah. I'm just calling to check in and make sure you're still alive.
Yeah, because you're good.
Because you're out here on your own. Because she got divorced. And even when she got divorced, I flew out to Texas and I started helping her break down her house and put stuff into storage and things like that. And it was just like, you have the connection with her, but then it's never going to be as deep as like your mom. Yeah. And I would hate to like, I hate when I have to take that away from her, because if you have a child, you are a mom. Right. In a sense. Yeah. And even if she doesn't take care of you, she still has that sense in the back of her head. She pushed me out of her body. Yes. So obviously I have to give her credit. A little bit of credit where credit's due.
It's really nice of you to do that.
We're just friends. And it doesn't get any deeper than that. And she doesn't necessarily care about the milestones in my life. She just cares that I'm alive and I'm being successful and that I'm contributing to society. And I think you are right. When people do have traumatic things happen to them, my mom always taught us you can either choose to be that or you can choose to grow past that. Exactly. And I think with me in my life and the traumatic things that I've been through, just from the time that I was with her, going into foster care, and even being in my family. My parents never once put me through traumatic things, but growing up myself, I had to live, learn, and I put myself through traumatic things.
We all do.
Mom and dad had to come and catch me and be like, okay,
we've been there.
Can you breathe? Yeah. You
like,
good? I can now.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for coming.
It's like, thanks for saving me again.
Seriously.
But no, I mean, I've had to learn through the years. Yeah. You either can be this and let this define you. Right. I could have let my marriage define me, but I chose to be better.
Good.
I got out of it. I worked on myself. I gained confidence in who I was as a person.
Good.
I could have let all the boys who hurt my feelings after I got out of my divorce hurt me.
Yeah.
But I chose not to. I grew past it.
Good.
And I'm not going to say that my mom wasn't on the phone with me every day listening to me cry. She was.
I am not going to lie. Your mom, she's been like kind of a mom to me lately. No, she really is the best. She has a way of like calming you down and saying everything perfectly where you're like, okay, I can breathe again.
Yeah.
Like I can, like you said, I can breathe again. I can do this. I can move forward. And I'm so glad that you have, an adoptive mom like that.
Oh, yeah.
Who just loves
Not
you
all
and is there
adopted
for
kids
you.
get,
And
like, that type of mom. Some of them, I've had friends that are adopted and their mom's been like super hard on them their whole life. And I think my mom, she's been hard in a sense of making sure that I develop and grow and be a contributing member of society, and I'm not out here on the streets getting buck wild and stuff. Like I reel it in when I need to.
Right.
And I know how to work, and I know how to be a part of people's lives and not impact their lives in a sense that's going to take away from who they are as a person.
I love that.
Because my parents have never, ever, ever taught us to be that way. They've always told us to be unconditional in everything we do. Unconditional love, do unto others as will do unto you, and be a good person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, those are simple rules.
Right? You would think they're simple, but there's a lot of people who
they don't know.
who struggle.
They don't know. But I mean, my parents they've gone above and beyond when it comes to the kids in our family, and they really have tried. They have. It's like, obviously, I feel like my parents have had to raise some of us differently.
Sure.
But that just comes with the territory of adopting 8 kids.
Right. Well, and even having multiple kids. Like for me, I thought I was such a good mom. I had a girl first. And I was like, oh yeah, I got this.
This is going to be great.
I'm going to be the best mom ever. And then I had 3 boys. And I was like, oh, just kidding.
Rocked.
I don't even know what I'm doing. But I admire you for going through hard things and pushing through them. And
well, thank you.
Yeah. Because sometimes it's easier to just sit back and just feel sorry for yourself and just be like, well, this is my life, whatever.
I think my dad taught me never feel bad for yourself.
I love that. My stepdad told me that too.
My mom, she taught me how to love unconditionally, but my dad was always like a little bit more stern. Yeah. And if I'm Marines, like sitting there wallowing, he's like, what are you doing?
Pull it together.
Like, get up and do something. Don't just sit there.
You know what? My dad growing up, he used to say, like, I'd be like, Dad, can you help me with this? And he goes, do you have 2 legs? Can you get up and do it yourself? Like, that was the thing, is like, if you can do it yourself, you get up and you do it. Yeah. And I used to hate him for that. And now I'm like, thanks, Dad. Yeah, I know. I'm a powerful person. I can do anything I want to do. I can change my life in a day if I wanted to. Exactly. And that I will forever be grateful for, because life is hard. Oh, so hard. So hard. And there's so many different factors that go into everyday life. Yeah. Yeah. Not just like big things that happen, but everyday life. It's hard. And there's decisions you have to make that can change your life. Forever. Yeah. And I think my parents have done a really good job at making sure that if you're going to make those decisions, how are they going to change your life? Right. How is it going to How are they going to affect you?
Play into where you are 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 3 years from now. Yeah. 2 days from now. Right. Like, and I think my mom and dad, and if I think back to all the things that I've like, oh, I'm going to do this. And I was like, okay. And what do you think's going to come out of that? Yeah. That sounds like a bad idea. Like, oh, okay, I guess it's a bad idea. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I won't.
Yeah. 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 But I think my parents are really good. I always tell people I will always be the devil's advocate. I'm going to question you in the ways that my parents question me. I'm going to make sure you're thinking. Yeah. And if it hurts your feelings, it's not meant to. I just want you to think.
I love that. I think that's great.
Yeah. No, my parents they're great. And I think being adopted, some people they look at us and they're like, oh, sad, you were adopted. I was like, no, thank the good Lord I was adopted, because I would have been on the streets, doing the most, probably in a gang, probably had 5 babies from 5 different men. You guys don't know what I came from. Right. So not woe is me. I'm thinking Heavenly Father every day. Yeah. That, oh my gosh, like, I am, a Black woman in America.
Hell yeah.
And I've made something of myself.
Yes.
Whereas there's all of these other women who they can't necessarily stand up on their own 2 feet because they came from where I came from.
Right.
I have a cousin that she's a year older than me, and I like look at her life and I look at my life. She's doing the most.
Yeah.
She's doing the most.
I love that. She's
Lights
doing the
being
most.
turned off. She can't figure out how to pay the bills. She has like kids from different daddies. She can't get it together.
Yeah.
But then when I go out there and see them, she's like, Kaylee, how do you do it? And I was like, well, I get up every day and I recognize that my surroundings don't define me.
Nope. I love that.
You got to know that you're bigger than what you feel like your picture is, because your picture in your head is this big. Mm-hmm. But the big picture is the size of the world.
Right.
And you really got to take the time to really understand it and really know, okay, I do not have to be what my upbringing was.
No.
Because I could have done that. I could have been adopted and still played, excuse my language, little ghetto girl. Mm-hmm. But no, I had to grow up.
Yeah.
And I had to recognize that life is a lot deeper than running the streets.
Oh, yeah.
And who likes you and who doesn't like you, and what your boyfriend is. You don't even need to have one of those.
Right, no.
Because we came out the womb alone. We're going to die alone.
I always say that, and Ryan gets so mad at me.
Like,
I'm like, no, we
truth.
came out
we came here by
this
ourselves.
is my life. This is no one else's life. This is my life.
Exactly.
And I love that you say that. I say this every time, like, I get on a podcast, which is why I love doing this podcast, is I feel like I can relate to you so much.
Yay.
And you are so wise. And I feel like there's a lot of people that are a lot older than you that don't have that knowledge, and they struggle. And it's taken me maybe these past 3 or 4 years to kind of like pull it together. Yeah. Because I was told, no, you weren't good here, so you're never going to make anything of yourself. Or, you only have this to offer, so you're not going to, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then one day I just woke up and I was like, actually, no, I'm not going to let anyone define me and tell me who I am and what I'm going to do. And ever since that day, it's like everything that I've ever wanted and it
falls into place. And
what's it called? Lucky girl syndrome?
Yeah. Like, it's the universe aligning with your thoughts.
It is.
As far as I'm concerned. And I think with growing up, from a really young age, I think probably like within the first year I was adopted, I would always go to my mom like, Mom, I want to do this. And she'd always look at me and say, you can do whatever you want.
I love it.
Like, you literally can do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. And if you want to do it, make it happen.
Do it. And your mom is a prime example of that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, started from nothing and look at what she's created.
And look what she's doing now. Yeah. And I think that's why when my parents adopted me, I came from such a rough background. Mm-hmm. I think that they really wanted me to know I can really do whatever I want. Right. There's nobody or anything in this world that's going to limit me from being successful. If I want to be successful, I'm going to be successful. Mm-hmm. If I want to make it on my own, I'll make it on my own. Nobody can tell me yes or no. Nope. And I think I wish that more people would realize that adoption is the absolute most beautiful thing that the world can offer.
Yes. And I think it's so much deeper than what people even know.
Yeah, it is, because a lot of people will talk to me and they'll be like, oh, what do your parents do? It's like, oh, my mom, she's the founder of an adoption agency. And like, so she sells babies. Yeah. I was like, it's a lot deeper than that. Don't you dare say that about my mom. I'm going to get you. I'll like lose it on the inside. I'm like, okay, it's a lot deeper than that. Mm-hmm. And let me break it down.
Yeah, do you have an hour to talk? Let's talk about it. We're going to get to the bottom of this.
Break it down. Yeah. And after I get done explaining how deep it is. Yeah. And what it comes with and how it impacts, it's not just impacting the person that is placing their baby for adoption. Right. This is a mom and dad that have been trying for children for nobody knows how long.
Exactly. And all the struggles that they have gone through.
And all of the struggles. And then a miracle happens and they get to have a baby. It's insane. And I've watched my mom build so many families.
I know.
And I've seen so many people just walk into the office and the baby will be sitting there and they'll look at the baby and they just start crying.
I know.
And I'm just like, oh my gosh, the love that somebody can have for a human being that didn't even come from them is insane. And it's beautiful. And I love seeing it. And I think that's why growing up, I would always go to work with my mom. I'd literally wake up sometimes and like be getting ready for school. My mom would be getting ready for work, and I'd walk into her bathroom like, I don't want to go to school today. And she's like, then don't. Let's go.
Let's go.
And she'd take me to the office, and I just got to see her go to meetings and work. And that's probably why I'm an entrepreneur, because I watched my mom do it, and I was like, I can do that too.
Yes, you can.
And I feel like I'm like the carbon copy of her. I'm just a little darker.
No, I can totally see it. You
like
guys,
me and my mom we're one and the same, and that's probably why we've always been so close, because she just sees me in her. And a lot of people, when they're adopted, they don't take the time to look at their adopted kid and say, oh, that is a baby version of me. My parents realized with me at a very young age, like, she may come from a different mom. But this is our child.
Oh, yeah.
She runs with the pack.
I love it. Yes.
And they've been really good at like helping me understand that I'm very special, and a lot of people don't get to experience that in their life and get to experience even being adopted, because one of my best friends, he grew up in foster care. Yeah. And my dad he met my little brother when they were in high school, and they were playing football. Really? Yeah. And he said that my dad was the absolute best thing that ever happened to him in all of his life. This is a man that we had to walk into his apartment, and his whole family was murdered. And he was the only one left.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then he was living in Philadelphia. And he just came home from school one day, got his shoes stolen on the way home. Oh my gosh. Had to walk up to the top flight, like the top floor in this apartment complex, because the elevator was broken, and they lived in the ghetto. Yeah. And walks into all of his family's dead.
Oh my gosh. How old was he?
Let's see. I think he was like 9.
9?
Yeah.
And this is your brother?
No, this is one of my really close friends, but I consider him family because he was best friends with my little brother.
Okay, he was best friends with your little brother.
I watched him grow up, and I watched him play football, and I watched him like grow up to the man that he is now. And now he's at the point where he would tell me, he's like, the reason that I am what I am today, Kaylee, is because of your dad, and he wasn't even my dad. I was a foster kid. I just had a foster mom. Yeah. But she would always show up for like the football games and stuff, and he got really close with my dad. And my dad would drive him home from the football games and everything. And my dad knew he was a foster kid, but he literally treated him like he was his own. Yeah. And he was like, okay, well, what can you do better next time? He always would challenge him and make sure that he was always thinking. And it has me think, I was like, damn, I got a family. I got a mom and dad. And my homie had to grow up in foster care. And the only influence of a parent he got was my dad. Yeah. And now he's about to perform for Tyga. What? Yeah, he's opening for Tyga.
Can we go?
Yeah. You already know. We're going to be there. I'm going to be in the front row.
Sure. I'll be right there with you.
Yeah, Let's go. And now he wanted, good for him. He's an entrepreneur, and so now he's good for him. Just showed me his flyer this last weekend that he's going to be opening up for Tyga, and I was like, gosh. Listen, hey, I'm proud
remember
of you.
me, yeah.
Don't forget me when you get famous, Kay. But no, it's a beautiful concept to see. It's just seeing the difference. It's just understanding. Oh, you grew up in foster care, and you had like nothing. Yeah. Yes, you had an amazing foster mom, and she tried as hard as she could. Yeah. And then you had to meet my father in order to know what a father felt like. Yeah. And my dad did a phenomenal job at just making sure that even kids that weren't his kids
were loved.
And they were made to feel like he was their father. Yeah. That's how he talked to them. That's how he...
I can see your dad doing that.
Oh, yeah. Sure. That's my dad my whole life. My whole life with all of my friends. Any friends that I would bring around... My dad just treated him like They were one of the
throw 'em.
pack.
Yep,
It's like, well, there's number 12 and 13 and 14 and 15.
Yeah.
All Kaylee's friends are in the house, so we got to feed them all.
I'm really sad that I didn't get to come hang out at your house. Even in elementary school, I feel like we would have had a lot of fun. You're right. And I think people who have a problem with adoption are either not influenced by adoption or aren't educated enough about adoption.
Yeah.
Or they really just are that small-minded where they're not looking at the big picture.
Exactly.
And no parent is perfect. No parent's perfect. I'm screwing my kids up left and right. I already know it. They're going to have trauma for me. I love them with everything I have. But I'm not perfect. And I don't pretend to be perfect.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's so cool with adoption is that, like we talked about, things are meant to happen. And people are meant to be in people's lives at certain times. And, it's crazy that just like the short 18 years of our lives affect us so much.
A lot. Yeah. Yeah.
And like we spend most of the rest of our lives trying to work through.
Trying to fix what messed us up the first 18. And I think one of the things that triggered healing for me as a person and like understanding that I am more than that is right after I left my ex-husband, 2019.
Yeah.
My mom called me one day and she said, Kaylee, I'm like, what did I do? And she was like, you didn't do anything. I was like, okay, what's going on? And she's like, I just want to apologize. And I was like, for what? You didn't do anything. And she's like, if I didn't show up for you growing up, if I didn't do certain things growing up, I want to apologize because there's no manual to being a parent. And I'll tell you the same thing. You're not messing your children up. They're going to learn from you.
Just kidding.
And if anything, they're going to build strong families based off of what you taught them. But my mom there's no manual for this.
No.
You don't just have a baby and the nurse walks in and drops a textbook on you and says, start reading, sister. No.
Let's go.
No.
Yes.
So for me, I watch all of my siblings be parents. I'm like one of the sisters. I don't have kids or anything. So I get to watch all of my siblings be parents, and I'm proud of every single one of my siblings.
Yeah.
There is no manual to this. But my mom and dad did such a good job at making sure that each of them knew that they were loved.
Yeah.
That my sisters all know how to love. And if you can love your kid, you don't have to do anything else. They just need it's just the love that we need to feel. I agree. Being adopted, no one loved me till I was 4 years old. Yeah. And that's just the mentality I've had to come to. I was like, no one wanted me. And then one day, these people never see me a day in their life. They saw a picture of me.
Yeah.
And they decided to love me.
Yeah.
And I was hell on earth for them. I was doing the most when they got me.
I love that you say that. I'm going to start saying that.
She a little bit was.
I was doing the most.
It's all right.
And they still loved me.
And she was adorable, though. So
yeah.
I was a cute bad.
Yeah.
It's
a good thing you were cute, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure they wanted to throw me away half the time. Until I turned about 15 and they're like, oh, I think she's getting it.
Yeah.
Just a little
We're
bit.
good now.
I remember Mom always telling you, because she felt like you were trying to test if she was going to give you away.
Yeah.
And so I always remember Mom saying, you're not going anywhere.
Yep.
You're a part of this
She
family.
would always
and
tell me that.
You're stuck with us.
She's like, you're not going anywhere. Yeah. So don't think that I'm going to give you away because I'm not.
Right.
I'm not going to give you away.
Yeah.
And I think up until I was probably like 8, it took like a good 4 years for me to understand they do love me.
Yeah.
They aren't just going to throw me back to the system and let me suffer. They recognize that I had gone through so much in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And I mean, my mom's been like, well, when we got you, you were only 4 years old, but you had gone through enough things for like up to like an 18-year-old to experience.
Right.
And I was mature.
Yeah.
I was very mature and I was sassy. I always talked back and I always thought I was right.
Had a girl.
Yeah. But my mom, she was really, really good at making sure that you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Yeah.
Sit down, sister.
You're stuck with us.
You're stuck here.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah. And my mom always did say that to me. And I think that's another way of how I knew that she loved me so much. Because I would be bad and I would be doing the most. And she'd be like, wash your mouth out with soap. I love you, but you're not going anywhere. You're going to get it together.
Yeah.
You're going to get it together.
Yes.
And that's exactly what I had to learn and do. And I mean, now I'm 31 and I tell people I'm adopted and they're like, oh, that's cool. And I was like, it's cool. Wait until you meet my parents. They're cooler than me.
Yeah. It's hard to get over abandonment issues. I think that's something that has been hard for me too.
Yeah.
Even in my marriage, because, you know, we don't need to get into my life story, but I felt like anyone I cared about left. And even though people were there, I still felt alone a lot of the time. And so, like, even in my marriage, like, whenever we fight, I'm like, okay, we're getting a divorce. I'm done. Like, fine.
You sound
See
like
you later.
That's something I would say.
Like, okay, bye. I'll be fine.
I was like, I'm going to be fine. See, I was alone before you came along, and I'll be alone again, Kate.
I'm independent now, okay?
Yeah.
So, watch out.
Yeah.
But no, and, you know, my husband's so sweet. He's always like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, we're not getting a divorce. He's not one time has he been like, yeah, we're getting a divorce. He's always like, you're funny. Go to your room. Yeah. Go take a minute.
Go take a nap and come back. We'll talk about it later. Yeah. Do you need to eat?
Right. Can I go get you some Betos really quick?
You need a burrito?
Yeah. Green sauce, please.
Yes,
yeah.
thank you.
Please. No, and that's the hardest part. So I can't even fathom what you went through and what you felt. And then the excitement of, you know, getting this family and being a part of a big family.
Yeah.
And then also trying to just work through
the trauma of
it all.
I think my parents did really good with helping me work through the trauma because they realized I had trauma being an adopted child at such an older age. Yeah, because most people don't want a 4-year-old. Right. They want babies.
Yeah.
And after they say, well, after you turn like 2, the statistics of you getting adopted are extremely low.
Yeah.
Extremely
Which breaks
low.
my heart.
And it's sad because I think for me, if I ever do have children and I was to adopt a kid, I would adopt from the foster care system. I would adopt a child that was like 4 or 5 or 6, just so that they could understand that 1, they're not alone.
Yes.
I went through the same thing. Mm-hmm. 2, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I will help them through the traumas. Yeah. My parents helped me through those traumas. They made sure that I had the right doctors. They made sure that I spoke to the right people. I released the energy the way that I needed to. Good. And I absorbed the love that I needed to feel. Yeah. And that I think that's probably why I love so hard now is because my parents have worked really hard on making sure that I know that they love me. Yeah. And there is nothing taking away from that. Nothing. There's not one thing I could do that would take away from that. Mm-hmm. It's after I know, like growing up, like I get into relationships or I'd start talking to people like, oh my gosh, my parents are gonna be so mad at me, they're not gonna love me anymore. And then the first thing my parents tell me is like, we love you. Yeah. But you're effing up.
Yeah. Try again.
Try again.
Yes, try again.
It's like go to jail. Don't collect $200 and start over.
Isn't it funny? Because I feel like we test ourselves sometimes.
Oh, 1,000%.
Like, I feel like we put ourselves in bad situations sometimes.
To see what we'll do.
To see what's going to happen. Yes. I think that's a trauma response.
It is a trauma response.
I definitely did that. Yeah. And I think that's why I got pregnant when I got pregnant. And, you know, my birth son actually came to my house for my daughter's birthday.
Oh, cute.
Last week.
Yes.
And he... I was talking to his adoptive mom and I was like talking to her about like this podcast and everything I'm doing. And, you know, I just want to make sure like we were on the same page and that she's okay with me talking about this stuff and coming on here. Yeah. And she was just so loving and so understanding. But again, my abandonment issues, I always have to feel like, am I doing anything that's going to upset you? Are you still going to be here? Are you still going to love me? Yeah. Even though I'm doing what I want to do and what I think is best for me. Yeah. And that has been so hard for me. Like, I feel like I've been able to get through so much, but I still care so much about what people think and stuff. Yeah. But I'm slowly getting over that. I'm like, who cares? Like,
That.
honestly, it's my life. And honestly, no one cares as much as I do. They really don't. I may think they do. They don't care.
They don't care.
No one
Or they're
cares
busy
about me that
living their
much.
own
Yeah.
lives.
No one cares that much.
I was like, you care about yourself more than any other person in this world.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what it comes down to. And my mom, she was like, she would always say, their opinion doesn't matter. What do you want to do? And she'd make sure I made a healthy choice.
Right.
Because sometimes I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm going to do this. And she's like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Rethink that answer, please.
Yeah.
But no, I can honestly say that I love being adopted. I know that if I would not have been adopted, what my life would have looked like.
Right.
And it would not have been pretty. It would have been very ugly, very hard. A lot of trauma, a lot of abandonment, a lot of not knowing who's going to really be there for you, who's got your back, who doesn't.
Right.
But my parents have always, no matter what choice I've ever made, they've always had my back.
Good.
And they've always made sure that I was loved. And if I had a do-over, I would do the same thing over. My parents would still get me, and I would still live up to be the woman that I am now, and I would still go through the traumas that I've gone through. Even after being adopted, I've put myself in some pretty bad situations.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the worst situations, that's when my family came for me the most. I remember sitting in my mom's office, and it was right before I told my ex-husband that I wanted a divorce, and I broke down.
Oh, I bet.
I was like, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself.
Yeah.
Heidi was there. My sister Shannon was there.
Yeah.
And my mom was there. And my dad comes walking in and says, I don't know why you aren't divorced yet. And I'm like, Dad, can you be sensitive to my feelings for 5 seconds,
That's
please?
such a dad response.
Yeah, he's like,
My dad would do the same.
Why are you just messing up your life like this? I'm like, okay.
Cool. Thanks, Dad.
Okay. And then I cried. My sisters hugged me. My parents hugged me. And I walked outside and Heidi came out. And she had one conversation with me that triggered every emotion of love that I had ever not been able to feel ever.
Yeah.
She's
She's good at that.
Told me the things that I absolutely needed to hear to put myself in a healthier place.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have had that if I wasn't adopted.
Right.
I was an only child.
Yeah.
I would have been out there doing the most, crying in the corner alone. But
All
my
alone.
family and being adopted and them just loving me unconditionally, they know me better than I know myself.
Yes.
They know what move I am going to make before Kaylee even makes the move.
Right.
Mom's like, this is what she's going to do. And then when I do it, she's like, told you.
Now let's fix it.
Now
What
we got to
can I
fix
do?
it. We got to reel it in.
Yeah.
We got to help her out.
Yeah.
But they've always stood for me. And I think it's beautiful. I think it's always been my favorite thing about me is I'm adopted.
I love that.
But that's because I got cool parents and cool ass siblings. I was
Yes, you
all my
do.
siblings are cool.
Yeah.
My family's really cool. My parents are really cool. And
Yeah.
none of you guys can compare.
Right? No, honestly, I think, if I were to ever leave Active Love, which I won't, I've been threatened. But if I were, just having you guys now as a family and just spending this time with you, honestly, I can't even tell you how many times Heidi has talked to me. I'm like, I know this is so unprofessional, but I just spill it all out to her. And I always say she's like a sister/mom to me. She's just so loving,
Yes.
so caring.
But she was mom runner up. I mean, she's the
Yes,
oldest.
she was. Yeah.
So she
Yeah.
always,
Yeah.
I'd go to Heidi's house and I'd tell Heidi things I couldn't tell my mom.
Yep. Yeah.
But she always would be like, well, we're going to talk through this.
Yeah,
And she's
I
always
worked
been
through
really
it.
calm.
I don't know if I've ever met anyone like your mom. I think she's so unique as a person. There's just so many good qualities that she has.
No, she's a good one. She's so funny, but she knows how to be serious. She knows how to run the business. She knows what to say. She always uses the right words.
She does.
She's a jack of all trades.
She really is.
Yeah.
She really is.
Yeah, she's a prime example of you literally can do anything you want.
Exactly.
Tell me about your adopted dad.
Oh, he's a king. My dad. Everything. He's my everything. People don't realize that if I lost my dad, I'd probably die. I'd be soon after.
Yeah.
Because he has held me down. Even when I moved out of the house. When I moved out of the house, me and my mom, she didn't understand why I was moving out. And it hurt her feelings. And she was like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this to me?
I know.
Like, what am I doing? I'm just trying
growing
to grow up. I was like, I'm just trying to glow up over here, Mom.
Yeah, let me do it.
I probably did it too soon, and that's why she said what she said. Because I moved out when I was like almost 19, and she's like,
I was 17, so I understand. My mom moved to Korea, and she looked at me and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm not going to Korea. Like, I love you. It's my senior year. I'm
not
staying
going
here
to another country.
No, I love you,
not
but no.
speaking English.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No thanks.
But
Sorry,
no, my dad, he's just. I moved out, and the day that I moved out, I will never forget. He packed all my stuff in the car. He drove me down to Provo, dropped me off at the BYU housing, helped me unpack all of my stuff into the apartment.
Yeah.
And then he kissed me on the forehead, and he said, good luck. And got in the car and drove out. What does that mean?
Yeah. What does that mean, Dad?
What does that mean? But then I was living in Provo, and my dad would he'd come down and see me and just say, what's up?
How did our paths not cross? Did our paths cross?
They probably did.
I'm sure we were at all the same parties.
We probably
You were probably
were.
at the party that me and Ryan met at, to be honest.
Oh, probably.
Because you and I are the same age. Like,
Yeah.
we were there at the same time.
That is insane.
I mean, I obviously am not smart enough for BYU.
Oh, I went to
cosmetology
I went to the
school.
cosmetology school. Yeah, I went to Paul Mitchell.
Oh, well, I went to a beta, so you're better than me.
No,
Yeah.
nah. Okay,
All right.
Anything that my father says
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah.
And my dad knows that I'll listen to him before I listen to my mom.
Yeah.
And so my mom, a lot of the times, she'd be like, Dieter, I need you to tell Kaylee this, that, and the other, and don't tell her that I said it. And then my dad will walk up to me and be like, your mom wants me to tell you this.
He so does that.
I love it.
Just
Oh, that's so
throws her
funny.
under the bus.
Right off the bat.
And he's like, my opinion's different, but this is what mom wants.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, Dad. And so he's the one that he literally walked up to me and he's like, you're getting a divorce. Here's the money. I was like, I'm not taking your money. He's like, no, you're taking it.
Yep.
And I want a receipt next week. I got divorced the next week, girl.
Good for you.
I made sure I filed for divorce.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say, it's probably the hardest thing I've had to do in my whole life.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I'm sorry.
look someone in the face and say, hey, man, I love you with my soul,
Yeah.
but I can't keep doing this shit.
Yeah.
It's fucking me up.
Yep.
And when I was with him, I had gained like 100+ pounds. I was 336 pounds when I left that relationship.
Yeah.
And I really had to have a coming to God moment and be like, hey, how much do you love yourself?
Yeah. I think that's the hardest thing to do.
Yeah. It was really hard. I mean, for me as a woman, I have good parents.
Yeah.
And my parents have been married for 53 years, Heidi? 53 years?
Yeah.
And they have loved each other through and through and through and through and watched each other grow in every aspect of their lives. And I think when I did get married, my mom told me we don't do divorces in this family.
Yeah.
And then when they both looked me dead ass in the face and said, you're getting a divorce because you look like you're dying.
Yeah.
And my mom went on to say, your eyes are yellow, your skin's getting the olive. I am black. Olive colored. And I was like, what are you talking about? Olive colored? She's like, you're fading. You are fading.
I so tell my daughter's the same. When she doesn't feel good, her skin goes like a yellowy green.
Yeah. It's like an olivey color.
Yeah.
And you can tell that we're sick. And so my mom, she's like, every time I see you, a piece of your soul's gone. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I know that if you stay in this relationship, I'm going to have to bury my child. Mm. And I refuse to let that be a thing.
Yeah.
And so they made me leave that man. And I'm not, I hate to say this because I loved him so much. It's probably the best thing I've ever done in my whole life.
Yeah.
Because it gave me the opportunity to learn myself.
Yep.
I lost 180 pounds.
Good for you. I need to do that.
No,
Just like button up my pants.
don't do it. I'm still having an identity crisis and I'm this light. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on half the time. Half the time I'm like, oh, here. It's like, don't watch me strut around, guys, because I don't know what I'm doing half the time. I'm out here. I woke up today.
Oh, same.
But yeah, no, I feel like in me choosing me.
Yeah.
And in my family chose me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they chose me way before I decided to choose myself. Mm-hmm. And they chose me the day that I broke down in my mom's office in front of everybody, wallowing in who I was and hating myself and this, that, and the other. And they continuously chose me. And when I divorced Tom, I was like, damn, just like everybody else has been choosing you, you just chose yourself today. Mm-hmm. What the fuck are you going to do with it? Yeah. And so I took it and ran.
Good.
And so, I mean, I haven't been in a relationship since 2019.
Good for you.
I've been living my best life. I've been trying to just love who I am as a person.
Yeah.
I've definitely had my ups and downs, and I'm not going to tell you every day is good.
Yeah.
Because I still call my mom crying.
Oh, yeah.
Every other day.
Yeah.
Talking about how I miss Tom. And then when he died, it was like, holy shit.
That's a whole other grieving process.
Oh, yeah. And I think it probably took me about 6 months to accept that he was really gone. I was going to his grave like almost every other day.
Yeah.
Just sitting there.
Yeah.
And just crying and just feeling those feelings and emotions. And then July will be his 1 year. And I can honestly say probably like 2-3 months ago is when I was like, okay, now I can start mourning.
Yeah.
Now that I'm done crying.
Right.
Now I can really mourn.
Now I can
accept it. Accept it that I am capable of being loved.
You are.
And
you're very lovable.
No, thanks. I'm out here. Hey.
You are, though. I'm like, I don't even know if Kaylee remembers me, but I just remember feeling
I just needed to hear your last name. I was like, what's your last name?
Yeah, McElroy. You already know.
There were so many Mackenzies.
So many Mackenzies.
I was like, which Mackenzie?
It was my age group. Yeah. We were all Mackenzies,
which
I swear.
Mackenzie?
Yeah.
And then I had a sister named Mackenzie.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay.
And she hung out with Whitney Rogerson, I'm pretty sure, didn't she? Mm-hmm. And like that group of people.
And the Beauchards,
Kenzie
Beauchard, see, another Kenzie. I was like, there were so many Kenzies. It was insane. I was like, last name, and then I'll know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, we used to play in the yard together.
We did. We had a good time.
I was being buck wild back then too.
But that's what I loved about you, because I was like this shy, timid girl.
Yeah, I didn't care.
No, but that's what I loved. I was like, I wish I could be like her, like just like so free.
Keep hanging out with me. I promise I will rub off on you.
Right? I need you. I need you in my life now, I guess.
Yeah, I am.
Yes,
Here
welcome.
She was never shy and quiet.
No, I know, and that's what I loved about her. And she was a class clown. She would always make us laugh. You always made us laugh.
Got moved.
Yeah,
I was the one student like, Kaylee, go sit over there, and then everybody's laughing in that corner. They couldn't put me anywhere in the classroom.
That's what I was saying. You're infectious.
I joke about everything.
You can just feel how pure you are, like just how like real. And you can definitely feel that from you.
I don't ever feel myself. I just try and be.
Yeah.
My mom always told me, don't be somebody you're not.
Yeah. There's no reason to be.
Be true to who you are.
Yeah. Which that took me so long.
No one's ever going to judge you for being true to who you are.
No.
As long as you're honest in your dealings, you will get everything you want.
Right?
That's what she would tell me.
Everything you've said today is kind of a universal truth for people who are adopted, birth moms, adoptive moms. We're all human. We're all here making mistakes. We all have a choice to either let our past be who we are. Yep, define us. Or we can take it, like you said, have it be a lesson, take it with you, build off of that, and become a better version of yourself.
Period.
Yeah, and be confident in that too.
Exactly.
And be okay with it. Well, that's the thing, is we all have free agency. So
exactly,
it doesn't matter. And everyone sees life on their own perspective.
Yeah.
Yes.
So even though they probably look at the situation being like, well, I don't know your situation. For me, like whenever I like have conflict with people, I'm like, why are you thinking that way? Like, how did you see it that way? Because that's not how I saw it.
How I think.
Right?
Like, I think the exact.
Like, and that goes back to adoption too.
Yeah.
Like everyone's going to see adoption
at a different perspective.
Through their own perspective.
Yeah,
like, oh, I heard this story from this person, or I experienced this from this. And that's what their take is going to be on adoption.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part for me too. Like I like get nervous sometimes telling people that I'm a birth mom because I never know how they're going to react. They're going to be like, oh, were you on drugs? What were you doing? Could you not take care of your baby?
Yeah.
You know, like
it's like, no, I was young.
Actually, yeah, I just wasn't ready. And I knew I couldn't give him the life that I wanted. Just saying, like, I'm not up here saying that everyone shares the same experience, that everyone's going to feel the same way I do, or are going to make the same choice I did.
Yeah.
But this is what's good for me in my life, and that's what was right for me at that time.
Period.
And that's kind of why I'm okay talking about adoption. That's why I'm okay, because I'm at peace with myself, knowing that I made the right decision. And just like you, like his mom and dad, they're like my best friends. Like she's like a sister to me, and we talk all the time, and we're the same person. We laugh at the same things. We make fun of our husbands for the same things. Like we literally are very similar. Yeah. And so I know that he was meant to be with them.
Yeah.
Like his life is amazing, and he has so much family that loves him.
It's beautiful.
And he still has us, you know, and we're all a big happy family, and we can all respect each other. And that's what I hope people can take from this podcast and from everything we talk about, is that there's good in everything.
There is.
And I feel like adoption does so much more good than it does bad. And I feel like because I'm insecure about saying I'm a birth mom, I'm projecting that off on people. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, no, I am a birth mom. I'm proud to be a birth mom. I made the best choice I could at that time. And I know my son is doing great.
And that's beautiful.
And that's why I'm comfortable. I mean, I know everyone at the agency is like, oh, you're a birth mom. Like, we don't want to. No, I'm okay.
Like, I am okay.
I can handle it.
Because I am adopted, and then growing up, there was birth moms that were my age that were and my mom would be like, Kaylee, I need to hang out with this birth mom because I don't know what to do with her. Yeah. She's 13 years old. And I was like, okay, so I go kick it with her. And I got to experience birth moms as an adopted child at a very young age. And then as I got older, when I was working at Red Robin, one of my best friends, her name's Sabrina, she's a hoot. This girl is, she's funny. She got pregnant. Yeah. And she called me one day and she's like, Coco. I'm like, what? It's like, what did you do?
Yeah, what now?
What did you do? And she's like, well, I'm pregnant. And I was like, dope. What you gonna do with that?
Yeah. How are you gonna handle that?
What you gonna do with that? And she's like, your birth mom, your mom still has her adoption agency, right? I was like, well, it's not going anywhere. Yeah. And she placed her baby with my mom's adoption agency. Aww. I gave her the number, and I was like, okay, sister, I'm gonna send you on the train, but I'm not gonna ride it with you. But I did ride it with her. I stuck by her side her whole pregnancy. We hung out almost every day of her pregnancy, and that's when my mom was like, oh, you should come and work with the birth moms. Like, why? Because I can kick it with the pregnant girls and we can have a good time.
You actually be a really good birth mom coordinator.
Actually, we do need some.
Yeah, so if you want to come on over.
My mom's been trying to get me to work for that agency since I was 15.
I know. It's probably... You what?
No, I just said come to the dark side.
Yeah,
come on over.
They have been waiting for me to work at that agency.
I want you to.
My mom has been waiting for me to ask, and I'm like, maybe one day I'll think about it.
I think so.
But yeah, no,
there's 3 of us there now. Come
on over.
As a birth mom,
she would be a great podcast host with me too.
No, no. Mindy, she's a counselor, but she does birth moms. She works with birth moms and adoptive families.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I think this is for you as a birth mom. I think seeing where you are now and understanding that like you'd made the right choice, and it wasn't even like a matter of am I making the right choice or not making the right choice. You did what you needed to do to make sure that child was going to be taken care of. Yeah. You can only love a child so hard, but if you cannot provide the means for them to grow up and be healthy, you made the right choice. You did everything right, the way that you were supposed to do it. And I think for me, being an adopted child and seeing a birth mom, I commend you.
Thank you.
Because you took the time out of your day to stop thinking about yourself and think about a being that you're bringing into this earth. And a lot of women don't do that. No. A lot of women will have these babies and struggle.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it's hard because I watch some of my friends now.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. My parents thought that because my birth mom had me when she was 16, that I was going to be that statistic.
Right.
There was a time, I love my father, but there was a time where my dad did say that to me.
Yeah.
Because I was doing the most. I was getting buck wild. I was kicking it with gang members.
Yeah.
And all of it.
I've been there.
My dad came to me and he's like, listen now, Kaylee.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be surprised if you're pregnant by the time you're 16 with the rate you're going at. And I was like, dang, Dad.
Yeah,
and
why you gotta say that?
I heard that. I heard it.
Yeah.
And it spoke to me so much so. I'm 31 years old and I still don't have any kids.
Right.
That spoke to me. No babies unless they're in the right heads. I'm in the right headspace.
Well, and that's the thing is, like,
and in the right relationship.
I think about if I would have kept my birth son, I would have not matured. It took me placing him and going on that year of like traveling and finding myself.
Beautiful.
And going through that to actually now be able to be the mom that I can be. And I feel like I'm a pretty damn good mom, like for the most part.
Because you have that open adoption with him.
Yeah.
He is always going to see that you did what was right for him so that he could have the lifestyle he has now. Because if you didn't do that, y'all both be on the streets, Lord knows.
No, seriously. And
Y'all
I think me
here.
and Ryan would like not be friends. We would not be friends.
Yeah.
We had to go through that to grow together as well.
Yeah.
It can change your entire
whole life.
And one sacrifice, which this is what I was going to say to you too. The universe always says that if you take the biggest leap, the thing that seems the most scariest to you, even though you know it's right, it's going to provide for you. It's going to give you so many different opportunities because you trusted yourself.
I trusted the Lord.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You trusted yourself,
the Lord.
and you trusted your higher power to take care of you. And that right there is huge. Once you completely release and give it over, that's when the blessings come in. And I truly believe that because I feel like ever since the day I placed my son, I had to grow a relationship with my Heavenly Father.
You have to.
I had to find someone to rely on to help me and to grow and to get to where I am now. And now I'm finally at a place where I'm like, yeah, I am powerful enough to do anything I want. I'm powerful enough to make things happen. It's like, that's how powerful affirmations are. It's what you look at, what you put in your path every single day. Like whenever I start getting into like a mood where I'm like, okay, I can't function anymore, I go drink some alcohol and then I pull myself together. I pull myself together.
Take a few shots.
Go take a few shots. Okay. Then I pull myself together and I will go listen to a podcast or I'll go listen to music or I'll tell my kids, okay, we're all just going to go sit outside for a minute. And
release that to the universe so that you can recollect yourself.
Because once you get in that negative pattern, you're just going to keep getting negative. If you can kick yourself out of that and just, that's why.
That's growth. And so just you saying that, once you start to learn and you know where you're going, and you go, okay, I know where this is headed.
Yeah.
I'm going to change it. Yeah. I'm stopping, turn around, get off this bus.
Yeah. Well, and that it took me a long time because I used to just spiral and I used to just get so depressed and so sad. And
you're not alone. I used to do that too.
Yeah. I mean, there's still days that I still do that.
Especially when I was married to Tom because he was just looking for heroin.
Yeah.
I was trying to reel it in. And I was trying to make sure our bills were paid. And my car wasn't getting repoed and the lights didn't turn off.
No, seriously,
and Tom
I know.
was looking for heroin.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, my life. And I would have like these breakdowns. Like, he would like find me in the closet just in the corner, just shaking and just crying. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And he was just looking at me, he's like, are you okay? I'm like, no,
I can't do this.
No. But I think that was like my heart rejecting him because my soul couldn't.
Oh yeah. And your body's trying to regulate itself.
My body was trying to regulate what it was and the breakdowns. And let's see, me and him were doing this for 5 years. I probably had 2 to 3 breakdowns each year.
Oh yeah.
when the seasons change.
Yeah. I was gonna say, well, that's
summer,
better than me.
I was fine.
Mine's
summer
like once
was
a month.
good because I was just getting buck wild in the sun.
Yeah.
But the second that it became like fall, winter, and then in spring, I would just, he couldn't even handle himself. How was he going to handle the girl breaking down that paid all the bills and had 3 jobs and made sure that the lights didn't get turned off and made sure the refrigerator had food in it, even though he never ate it. Because I was eating it.
Right. Because you were eating it. I just stock the fridge and eat out. That's my problem.
That's fine.
Yeah.
As long as the kids have food.
Right? I'm like, you guys can snack.
He's like, snack on what we have.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I feel like I commend you. I think you're an amazing woman. I didn't even know that you had a place to pay for adoption.
Oh, you didn't? Yeah, I did. I don't tell people going into podcasts because I want them to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Like, I want them to know, like, and like, I know there's birth moms out there that suck, just like adoptive moms. There's some that just suck. And there's moms out there that just suck.
Yeah.
And suck is, probably not the best word for that, but you know what I mean.
It is what you said. No,
just
some
sucks,
people just suck.
Okay?
No,
they just suck. But I feel like once people can look outside of themselves and their own perspective, their perspective grows and you start 100%. Understanding why people make the choices they do and why they do the things they do. And it's important to like support people and their own feelings.
Exactly.
Like Brennan, his birth mom is not awesome.
No.
I love that I'm saying suck and awesome, but everyone understands.
Yeah.
And, and same. And you as a child have to be the adult sometimes. Yeah. And Ryan has to deal with that with his biological dad, my husband.
Yeah.
He's like, why would I ever reach out to him? Because he never reaches out to me. So I commend you for at least still letting her know that she's loved. And it's okay.
This is the thing. For me, it's like, I'm her only child, and if I don't tell her that she's loved, what the fuck is going to tell her?
Yeah, who's going to tell her?
Who's going to tell her that she's still loved? Yeah. I don't care that you placed me for adoption because my parents kick ass.
Yeah.
They are better.
I'm really glad you did. I'm glad you did.
They are the best. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I got the best.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like she got the blood end of the stick. Yeah. Because now she sees me now, and she's like, oh, damn, she's really smart.
Yeah.
She's super intelligent. She works for herself.
She's really funny.
Maybe sometimes. I just not her. I hold my own, and sometimes I'll talk to her and she'll just I'm just having a really hard time. And I was like, how about you just breathe?
Yeah. Just breathe.
And then she's like, you don't get it. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't
if you only knew.
If only you knew.
Yeah.
The day that you dropped me off at that airport and said, I'm not going to see you for a while, what the fuck it did to me.
Yeah.
You don't know. Mm-mm. You just see what you see face first right now, but you have no clue what I had to do up until the age I was 21 when you found me. And the reason that I waited till I was 21 is because I wanted to make sure that I had my shit together.
Oh, yeah.
That I was doing it right.
I admire you for that.
Messing up my life in any other type of way.
Yeah.
And that when I presented myself to you, I wanted you to see that I was intelligent, that I was smart, that I really had my everything going for me. I went to cosmetology school. I graduated high school. I made sure that I didn't join any gangs.
The ones in Utah are actually pretty intense. So.
They are.
Yeah.
They really are.
I know.
And so, I'm like, at least I didn't do these things. And so I think growing up for me, I'm a thinker.
Yeah.
But my mom and dad, especially my father, always sat there and made me think. I remember when I moved up to Salt Lake and my dad would come to Red Robin and get his fish and chips. He came once a week, and I always made sure he came. I'd always call him, like, where are you? He's like, oh, just come see me at work.
Yeah.
Let me feed you instead of you feeding everyone else.
Yeah.
And he would come in by himself, and he'd sit in my section, and I'd get him his fish and chips and his extra vinegar and the extra tartar sauce and some extra fries. And I need my dad. My dad was a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
He's worked his ass off.
Yeah.
To make sure that I became this.
Yeah.
Yes, my mom was there, And she made sure that I was loved. And I talked to her when I couldn't talk to my dad, but my dad was always there. Yeah. There was not one morning that my dad didn't walk into my bedroom and turn the light on and say, get up.
I love that.
Or one morning where I didn't walk out of the kitchen and I was like, you want cereal? And he's like, what do you want to eat?
Yeah.
Or one morning if I'm late for school, that my dad was like, come on, get in the car. I got to drop you off when I drop everyone off. I got to run errands. I got to go to the VA. I got to do this. Yeah. But I guess I can take you to school. Unless he was mad. He's like, you're walking.
Yeah.
or when he would take her order when she was at school.
Oh, yeah. I would never eat school lunch.
No.
I wouldn't eat school lunch. It tasted disgusting.
And I was so like, funny.
Dad, this school lunch is insanely nasty.
It's so
nasty. And so he, for, let's see, all 3 years of high school.
Yeah.
Sophomore, junior, and senior.
Yeah.
If I called my dad, I'd probably call him like 4 days out of the 5 days. And I like, so Dad, can you bring us some ham fried rice from Jamba?
Ooh.
And he would always show up without, he never hesitated. He never said no. Mm. If I was like, I don't know if I want jumbo today, he's like, yeah, you do, because that's all you eat.
Yeah.
I ate fried rice for 3 years straight.
I love fried rice. I could do that.
For lunch, every lunch.
Love it. That's so
funny.
And
he'd give me the big thing, and then I'd be sitting at the lunch table, and people like, where did you get that? I was like, my dad. My father.
My dad loves me more than your dad loves you.
Yeah. I tell everybody. I'm like, everybody knows. It's like, yeah, my dad's cooler than yours. And even if you think your dad's cooler, wait till you meet my dad.
Yeah, he's not.
He's cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Alyssa was going to school with Kaylee. And my daughter, and Alyssa's like, did you know that Grandpa brings Kaylee rice from Jumbo every day for lunch?
Yep. Routine. My father knew. But he knew I was... Growing up, I didn't just eat anything.
Yeah.
I kind of had a picky palate, so he kind of knew textures were a thing for me. So if the texture was off, I'd throw up.
Yeah.
Or like, he'd see me wallow. And so my dad didn't ever want to see me wallow. He wanted to build me Kunkel strong.
I love that. Kunkel strong.
Yeah. Dieter Strong, I guess.
Yeah, Dieter
because
Strong.
I'm literally the female version of him. I was like, I won't feel bad if I say the truth.
Yeah.
Because my dad will always, he speaks the truth and walks away.
Yeah.
You cry, that's your problem, not mine. Obviously.
Yeah, don't ever play basketball with him.
No, he will rock you.
Oh. Even now?
Yes. I feel like he would even now.
Oh, my head.
That's hilarious.
He's very competitive. And every time I tell my friends when I have a competition, I was like, you know, my dad, you don't know what he put in me.
No.
You don't want to battle me. I will rock you and I might cheat.
Right? All of us girls play sports really hard.
We do.
Because we were raised with a dad.
He would like be aggressive. Use an elbow. Get in there. Okay, here we go.
Oh my gosh.
And that's why anytime we're all out there together as a family, if you come to like a family event,
we're very competitive.
We're so competitive.
Even with
one of us leaves
yelling.
Upset. Oh yeah, no, one of us leaves upset every single time. Yeah.
I was like, it's like, I'm not playing anymore. And you walk away.
No, seriously. Or if someone feels cheated,
you really,
oh my gosh.
You cheated. It's like, it's not cheating if you win.
It's not cheating if you get away with it.
Yeah.
No one knows. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you were adopted into a family that feels like your own family.
Oh,
like
yeah.
You were meant
that's
to be
blood
there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Might be
That's
black,
huge.
But that's blood. I was like, listen, I don't care what anybody says. That is my blood. Yeah, I have my biological family, but like this is what family is. And some people don't realize like how deep a love can be for people until they experience that deep of love for themselves when they didn't even love themselves. And I can say that even with being adopted, my family they could have chose to treat me different. They could have chose to treat me like the adopted child. Mm-hmm. But it was never a thing. They always just wanted me to be loved unconditionally. Yeah. All the way down from my aunts to my uncles to my grandma and grandpa, my oma and opa, all of them. Like they always made sure that I was loved. And even when there were so many years where I just didn't even love myself. Yeah. And I would tell my mom, I was like, I hate myself. Mm. And she's like, well, you should stop doing that because I love you. I was like, I guess that kind of matters.
It does.
That matters. Yeah. And so, I mean, If anybody were to ever ask me if they should adopt, I'd always tell them yes. Do it again and again and again and again and again. You want to know why? Because 9 times out of 10, those kids that you're adopted are going to love you more than your biological kids.
Hey!
That's hilarious.
Is that why Mom always counts Shannon and I out? Because we're
I don't even know.
biological.
Two biological guys. Like, I don't know.
She always leads with, I've adopted 8 times. I'm like, yeah. And
it's like, what about the 2?
Yeah.
What about the 2 that you bore? It's like, I came out of your body. What about me?
That's hilarious. I don't even know like where to go from there. I think that's a perfect way to end it. Like that
perfect.
saying right there is perfect. So,
Yes.
all right.
Yeah, thanks for giving me the time. I was scared to do this.
You were?
Oh,
don't
yeah.
I knew you'd be great.
I was gonna say I need you as like a
asked me,
podcast
like,
host
3
with me.
times, and I ignored the first 2 texts.
Yes, you did.
I
didn't
know. I even
respond.
texted you and you didn't respond to me, but
Did you?
I'm just kidding. I
Oh,
really
did
don't
you
care.
send me a voice message?
I did.
Didn't listen to it.
That's totally fine.
I like looked at the number and then I was like,
She didn't know.
voice message? I don't know who this is. I'm not even gonna.
I'm not gonna. I know.
Yeah.
Sorry. I should have. Yeah. I probably should have texted you and said, "Hey, it's
Oh,
me."
yeah, if you would've
and
said
I
it
just
was
sent you a voice message.
Kenzie, I'm like, oh, what's up? What's
Yeah.
up? Usually, if people don't tell me who they are when they text me, if they just are like,
Oh, yeah.
what's up? I'm like, not me.
No, not
I'm
me.
Not up. I'm
Well,
not
especially
up.
when you like use your phone for work too. You're like, I'm not gonna deal with this right now.
I was like, this might be a solicitor. No, I'm kidding.
This might be a scam.
I was like, I don't want to put myself in a situation.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, no, thank you for having me. This has been fun.
Thank you for coming.
It's good to see you again. You'll see
I know,
me
you
again.
too.
I'm out here. And now you have my number, so you can text me anytime.
Okay. Yeah. You're gonna come hang out with me. I've already decided. So we're gonna make it happen.
Yay.
All right. Well, thank you.
Of course.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.